G'day, it's fugitive Australian journalist Shane Dowling from the website Kangaroo Court of Australia. Now, I've been watching the New South Wales parliamentary inquiry today into John Barilaro, the former New South Wales Deputy Premier, and the $500,000 US job he tried to line up for himself before he left Parliament. And he was found colluding with the government afterwards, after he left Parliament, to try and stitch up that $500,000 job. Now, I just want to make one point in this video. Today, during the inquiry, Wes Fang, who's a National Party politician, the upper house of the New South Wales Parliament, in effect openly stated the government's plan of attack is to use the whole two wrongs equal a right strategy and trash the reputation of Jenny West, who was a lady who originally was awarded the job. Then she had it taken from her to make sure that John Barilaro could have the job. And he didn't even try and hide it. He used the words that, in effect, that said, given that John Barilaro has been publicly maligned for trying to stitch up the job for himself, then in fact, why shouldn't Jenny West be maligned, publicly maligned as well? Now, just a little bit of the background. I'm not going to get into too much of the background in relation to John Barilaro and his attempt to get the job. I've set up a John Barilaro page on my website. You'll see it at the top of the screen if you're on your PC at home. It's in the menu. It's got John Barilaro, ICAC New South Wales, ICAC New South Wales Police and New South Wales Parliament inquiry. So you can click on that and it's got all the background articles I've written on it. But just a little bit of background on Jenny West. She was actually working for the government department who oversees these international trade positions. Part of the members of the government department, New South Wales Investment, that set up the role, and so she had oversight of the job description, etc., etc., for the different roles in the UK and also in India, and I think there was one in Asia and a few other countries around the world. And so they've tried to use that to say, well, look, she was internally aware of all the, job description and all that sort of thing, and the people who were applying for the role. So she was an internal candidate. She shouldn't have. She's used her inside information, inside knowledge to get the role in the first place. So the fact that it was taken off her doesn't really matter. You can't afford to criticise John Barilaro using his inside knowledge, given that Jenny West did as well. But that doesn't stack up. That's the old two wrongs equal a right routine. But so let's have a listen to what Wes Fang actually said in Parliament today. Then I'll sort of comment on it more afterwards.
I'm going to draw some parallels quickly in a little bit. How much time do I have left, Chair?
You've got 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Perfect. That should be just about enough time. I'm going to draw some parallels, Ms Brown.
Coming to a question though, Mr. Fang.
Oh, I'm going to be coming to a question, Ms Fairman. In the first round of the recruitment, there was somebody who was involved in developing the position descriptions, advertising the role, was aware of all the people who applied for the role and who was on the short list, then subsequently decided to apply for the role after they were aware of who the shortlisted candidates were and their strengths and weaknesses, had a number of, or had at least a secretary or deputy secretary as a referee for them, and was subsequently provided the role. In the second round, the former Deputy Premier applied and wasn't aware of who was applying, was not aware of the shortlist, obviously had a number of referees, and we've official, unofficial, and won the role. Given that the Deputy Premier has been, I'll say, so maligned about his role in this, why should it not be the case that the person who was in charge of developing the role, writing the position descriptions, advertising the role, and who was aware of who was on the shortlist, their strengths and weaknesses, should not be equally as maligned, given that they also won the role?
I don't think it's for me to express an opinion.
That's the end of my questioning.
So while Wes Fang doesn't actually name Jenny West, he's referring to a candidate who had all the inside knowledge and of the role, because they were working in the government department at the time, and they were part of that process, given they were given the role. And then John Barilaro, who had inside knowledge as well, was given the role. He was publicly maligned, so why shouldn't the other person, which is Jenny West, be publicly maligned? So that's the government strategy. Two wrongs equal a right. We're going to trash Jenny West and her reputation to somehow justify John Barilaro corruptly and criminally using his position to stitch up the $500,000 job for himself. They have no shame, the New South Wales government, to openly and publicly state that. What their strategy is just shows what a bunch of criminals they are. I also have a number of other issues I'd like to raise from today's hearing, but I'll do that tomorrow in another video. I thought this was very important, just to show how openly and blatantly corrupt they are, just to focus on that issue in relation to this video. Other than that, like I said in the last video I've done, I've set up a Kangaroo Court of Australia t-shirt shop. You can get the t-shirts. The last video I did, I had a blue one. This one's green. You can see it for yourself. And there'll be a link on YouTube below the video in the description box for the t-shirt shop. Other than that, please share this video on Facebook, Twitter, etc. And thank you for your time and have a good day.